Hello and welcome to another episode of Community Connections. I am Anna Orr, your host, and this is airing on OROMIA11. Today we are talking to Timothy Gill, who is Executive Director and founder of T.E.A.M, which stands for Teach Everyone a Method. This is going to be a wonderful episode. If you have someone between the ages of 14 and 22 in your life that may learn differently or may want some one-on-one mentorship and or support achieving a goal, this episode is going to be for you. Stay tuned. Timothy, I'm so grateful to have you joining me today. Can you introduce yourself to our viewers as well as your organization?
My name is Timothy Gill, and I am the founder of Teach Everyone a Method.
Can you talk to me about what Teach Everyone a Method is for those that have heard that catchy catchphrase?
Teach Everyone a Method is a community organization that was founded in the year of 2020 to motivate and inspire everyone to utilize a method to achieve their goals.
Okay. And then what's your personal connection to this work? Where did you grow up? Are you a resident here in the Twin Cities? Did you spend your childhood here?
So I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
But had a very rough childhood, went through a lot of different things. My parents tried to raise me the best way they could. I ended up going through the foster care system, moving around a lot. I ended up coming up here for high school, where my dad was here and kind of tried to do the best he could to raise me up here. And this probably was the longest stint of time that I spent was in Minneapolis. So I'd say I'm a Minneapolis, native.
I think that counts. Now, can you talk to me about you wanting to get involved with youth and this work that you're doing here? Where did that kind of come from for you?
So if we can kind of go back a little bit, this idea of this organization kind of formed more in like a crisis for me. It was a crisis time for me. I had just got out of an engagement that I was in. I ended up going back to play professional basketball. Played overseas for about 4 years. And during this time, the pandemic was starting to hit. I was over there playing, living my life, had no worries, no issues, I was economically stable. Then the pandemic hit, basketball slowed down for me. I ended up coming back to Minneapolis. I was still signed to contract, came back to Minneapolis during that time. It was the death of George Floyd. I came back and became a part of an organization that was called 10K, which was a movement to put together a bunch of athletes to kind of change the narrative on protesting in Minneapolis. It was during a time where all the riots and things was going on. And we kind of wanted to put a different perspective on it. So a bunch of athletes came together, put on suits and things of that nature, come and peacefully protest in the city to just show solidarity, but also to, change the narrative and try to get a common result that we all wanted. That kind of formulated the thing for me. So I was out there, I was protesting, we're doing a lot of different things, and as I'm doing that, I start seeing a bigger picture to a lot of things around me, and I was starting to see a lot of the disparities and a lot of the changes and the things that we was missing, and it kind of just lit a fire under me. I felt like, basketball was something that I utilized to, get to a further platform to do a lot of different things for my life, and it took me away from a lot of bad situations. But after being out there and seeing some of those things and kind of bringing me back to my childhood memories and things of that nature, I just started, preparing myself to see what impact I could make in the community. And that's kind of when it was starting to form Teach Everyone a Method, and my program and mentorship and all that stuff was fired from that.
How did you come up with the model for Teach Everyone a Method? Because I was looking on the website and reading the pamphlet, and I was like, this is interesting, but this is also a very succinct way of doing something and teaching youth something, I think, in a pretty timely fashion. What do they say? It's 21 days to create a habit.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is interesting. And for kids to be able to pick up skills or to create a plan for themselves of any kind in this amount of time, I was like, this is really interesting, but this is also something I've never heard of before. So if you can talk to viewers a little bit about that.
Okay. So kind of me using my own life experience, like I was kind of saying a little bit briefly in before. I'm a kid that has been through foster care itself. I did 1 year in foster care, but went through about 4 different families in foster care in 1 year. So I experienced a lot of rejection, a lot of avoidance, a lot of issues with myself. And then on top of that, I have extensive amount of school. And fortunately enough, I was chasing basketball and my bigger dream of, playing in the NBA and things of that nature. But I maintained a AA degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree in the process too. So I have a lot of education and experiences. I lived in about 12 states and 4 countries too.
Wow.
So I met a lot of people and done a lot of things. And when I was thinking about how can I make the biggest impact, my life itself was an impact in itself, and that's how I formed Teach Everyone a Method. So what plan do someone need? As a person who has been moving through life instinctively or in a chaotic crisis thought process, I never really actually sat down and planned something before I did it, or I never really mapped out things before. And I figured it's a lot of people out there that are not in the situation that I'm in that went through a lot of the things that I went through, and I realized that was the main reason why. It was the key essential skills of planning that they missed that can actually make an impact to bring more of the youth to this point.
So talk to me about the services as well as the program in itself that Teach Everyone a Method offers to the community.
Okay, so currently Teach Everyone a Method, it started in 2020. It first started out with just community engagement and involvement. My background is in social work. I have my master's degree in social work. I am a natural advocate and supporter of the community for anything. I remain unbiased and helpful to anything that is around me. I am a person that has utilized and the resources around me and had a bunch of mentors with me that guided me in key situations. So because of that, I started out with just giving back. So it started out with a clothes drive and a shoe drive of me just talking to multiple people on my own social media account saying, hey, I want to do a clothes and shoe drive. Whatever you have that's nicely or gently used, can you please bring them to me so I can set up an event to give them out to everybody? Mm-hmm. And it went amazing. I ended up using a family friend's location to kind of set it up. And then literally I probably had a whole store full of things that was new or gently used and handed it out to the community. It went to a lot of family. It was really great. So right now, annually, we do a clothes and shoe drive. We do a wellness event every year. We do a back to school drive. We do a Christmas drive. And that's what we do right now just to kind of uproar the community, but also just give value to people that don't really have things of value. And then we have our mentorship program, which is our 4 E's course that we have that I built based off my life. So I took a universal plan that I created and I'm using it to help guide them to learn the resources, the mentorship, and the self-autonomy that they need to plan for whatever goal or future that they want to have.
I think that's important when you talked about the transition that you had during your adolescence, about moving, being in foster care and bouncing around. Those are such pivotal times for youth. And it's like if there's no one there to teach you how to sit down and plan things out or create a method for something, when do you start to get that tool? Or how do you find your way adulting in society if nobody's ever showed that to you? And I think this is a tool that is not only going to benefit them for whatever goal that they set, but for a lifetime. These are tools that they'll be able to use in their wheelhouse. I think it's very necessary. Can you talk to me about the age group of the youth you serve?
So starting out the first year, I put the course together. It was a pilot year. I was being a mentor, and an intern at a public charter school in Minneapolis. I went through a bunch of different kids, testing it out, sampling it, and things of that nature. Right now, it's sustainably working with the age group of 14 through 22. Where they're kind of in that mindset of, hey, I need to figure out what's going on or have a high interest in it. That's the age group that I'm using now, but I am excited to see it work for adults, to work for other people. But, as you start forming organizations, you have to find like a rigid scale to start with and, see production from it. But even right now in that age group, I see a lot of growth.
What is the mission of T.E.A.M?
The mission is to motivate and inspire everyone to utilize a method to achieve their goals. So what I mean by that really is I want people to start thinking before they do. I want people to start utilizing the resources around them and understand that you can reach out for help or receive help when you need it. And sometimes it's not always about trial and error. Sometimes it's about planning something out and then shooting for that plan with less errors and less time wasted.
I think that's very important. Now, how long does the program run if kids are going to participate, or if youth are set to participate?
So we've evolved with this at times as well, but right now it's 10 weeks. Okay. We give them 10 weeks where we meet with them 2 days out of the week for an hour, where we provide them with food, but also that mentorship that's necessary. But then every day we check in with them, every day with a conversation, because sometimes once they're doing these courses, it's a lot of things out there that can detour the progress that you're making on a daily setting. So yes, it will be a 10 weeks course.
I think it sounds like something that we all could use, somebody to come alongside us and check in to make sure we're hitting our goals, that if we need help, if we have questions, they're able to talk to somebody about it versus, dealing with it on their own or feeling discouraged about completing their goals set in front of them. Now, talk to me about what the cost associated with a program like this is.
So initially, the cost was free. I was starting it out. I was getting going. As I am starting to go through and gain, now this is going on my third year. As of right now, I priced it at $4,000 per student, and I only priced it at that because it's $1,000 scholarship into the exploration area of what it is that they want to learn, and then on top of that, we're still feeding them, also making transportation happen, and then we're meeting with them throughout 10 weeks and giving them information and the resources that they need. Initially, for the payments, I would like for it to go through other organizations or government funded. Right now, we do have open enrollment, but it happens during the summer times. Okay. And right now, we're changing up the qualifications for it and the sponsorships as well for it. So some kids can get sponsored based off other organizations as well.
Okay. Now, we talked a little bit about scholarships. What are some of the metrics around that? Is it what you can pay? Let me know what we're looking at for people that are interested in maybe looking into what the scholarships are offering.
So as of right now with scholarships for me, I take all the kids that want to be in it. I take them all and I try to grab at least 3 from each one. I literally randomly put all names in a bucket and I shake it around and I will grab 3 names out of there for each summer course that goes through. And that's kind of how the sponsorship or scholarship goes. We're looking for more ways to improve that, to continue the sustainability of the program with sponsorships to pay for those students. But right now I am the course teacher of it, and as we're evolving, as we're moving, I will begin to teach and hire other people to teach the course as well.
Okay, and where is this located for people that may be watching this and trying to figure out what side of the city is this, or is this virtual? What are we looking at?
So currently it's more of an individualized practice, and I am a firm believer that until you understand who you are or what your role is, you cannot be a part of a team, you cannot be a part of society. I meet these learners where they're most comfortable at. So either I will come to their location or we'll find a secluded location. Eventually we will have a home space, but until then we are just mobily meeting them kids where they're at.
Okay. I think that's really important. Now, for those of us that are interested in supporting this work as it goes forward, how can we jump in?
There are a lot of ways that you can join in. We have multiple events that they can join into as well, and then you can kind of utilize this where you can send out an email, let us know that you would like to volunteer or would like to work with our organization. As I said, we have many different pillars of the organization that can utilize people that would like to be a part of something bigger than them and make an impact in the youth lives.
So what's the next event you have coming up?
Okay, so as of right now, we have our clothes drive and shoe drive coming up, when we call it Team's Closet. And what we're doing right now is collecting all of those new or lightly used clothes that people have. So we're not saying, the clothes that you don't wear. We're saying the clothes that you do wear but don't utilize. We would like for you to bring those clothes because they are of value, and we would like to provide them to people in the community so that they can have them clothes. This event is going to be on August 26th from 10 to 3 p.m. at Logan Park.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so right in the community, but also you guys are going to be at a park, so the
Yep.
community surrounding residents will be able to come and patronize this wonderful event at Team's Closet. Now, I'm excited about this event coming up because it's the summer, right before school starts, which means
Yep.
everybody is doing what? If you have children, if you have scholars a part of your network, you are going through clothes from last year trying to see what fits, what doesn't, what do we need right now before we go school shopping. As summer wraps up, you're getting all the summer clothes out of the closet, putting them away. If this is something that you know you are doing, you need to get in contact with Timothy and his team so that you can make sure that a scholar in your area is able to benefit and start the school year off right. We all know that when you look good, you feel good.
I will also add on to that, as you donate, as you're going through, as of right now, we are doing $1 for 5 items. This is the metric system that we utilize for the 3rd year to try to generate more revenue for the space that we had to pay for. So we have to pay for insurance and lock in the space. We are not selling the clothes for money, but you could donate $1, which will give a ticket. We hand out tickets at the door for everyone, so anyone is welcome to come to this event. And the $1 that they donate will go to 5 items, so you can get a ticket when you come to the door, and you can come in and grab 5 items.
That's amazing. Now, can you please let us know your social media handles and or contact information for people that are interested in the programs or staying connected to the work that you guys are doing as the rest of the year unfolds?
Okay, so Teach Everyone a Method is the name on everything. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of those social sites are all Teach Everyone a Method. The number that you can contact us at is 612-306-5859. And the email, if you would like to email, it is teamteachmethods@gmail.com.
I think that's wonderful. Thank you, Timothy, for your time today and for your work with Teach Everyone a Method. I hope that someone today has found something you've shared inspiring or educational and decides to connect with you guys independently.
Thank you.
That is all the time that we have for this special episode of Community Connections. A very special thank you to Timothy Gill and his amazing team over at Teach Everyone a Method. Please make sure that you look in the link or the description box of this episode so that you can figure out the way to connect with him and his team and get your scholar the support they need to have a wonderful and successful future. As always, I am your host, Anna Orr, and I look forward to connecting again with you soon.